I'm Natalie.
And I'm Hannah.
And I'm Kaitlin. Welcome back to the Stride Sisters podcast. On today's episode, we have a lot of catching up to do. While Hannah was on vacation and Kaitlin was starting the first day of a new school year, Natalie was watching the live stream of D23, and Kaitlin was watching the Legends ceremony on Disney+. There were lots of updates from D23, which Hannah will blind react to. We also covered the springtime surprise registration and the medals for Marathon Weekend 2025. Will Natalie have a perfect runDisney race season in 2025? Stay tuned to find out. So, lace up your shoes and step into the magic with us.
And we're live.
Yay!
We're back.
We are back.
Natalie, you want to kick us off with your training updates?
Dun, 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 dun. All right. So, having concluded week 8 of marathon training, it has been hot. It has been sticky. It has been August in most of the United States. Things are going pretty well. We obviously took this small hiatus because we had such a banger of an episode on work-life balance. We had to take 2 weeks off. And, I have been mostly just trying to get the runs in. I've been doing the lifting when I can, and I'm going to be able to get back into it now that some things have settled down on my end. But my 9-miler...
The good kind of running. The good kind of running, just to clarify. Not like the bad runs.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not.
You don't want to get the runs.
Oh
yeah. My God.
The moment of realization, like, oh, geez. I don't even wish that on people I don't like. And, getting back into more of the weight. I guess I missed 2 weightlifting workouts. So it's the fact that I'm and I did half of one of an additional one. So I'm I took some time off. Shut up, Natalie. It's fine.
You're still the most adherent of all of us.
That's true. But I did 9 miles this past weekend, and it went, and by this past weekend, I mean I did it Wednesday morning because I was out of town for a wedding this weekend, and there was no way 9 was happening while out of town. So I'm slowly inching for my long runs, closer to my workplace, which is about 7 miles from my house. So our out and back gets us we've gotten to a new street now.
Ooh.
And this is only going to be funny if you know my commute, but we're trucking. We're getting closer because I aspire when we have the 15 in not that many weeks that I'm going to purposely make a pit stop near in the office if I need to get some ice or refill my water or whatever, use the bathroom, which involves me taking my ID with me and praying to the sweet Mickey that absolutely nobody is in there on a Saturday morning. Otherwise, I will be sweaty and embarrassed. And
can
then
you even go in your office?
Yeah, if I have my badge, I can.
Oh, our
lucky.
office? No, our office is locked down on the weekends. If you go in on Saturday or Sunday, you'll set off the security alarm.
Oh.
Oh,
so,
my.
Yeah, we can't go in. You have to call the office manager ahead of time.
See, it's probably a good thing that the only keys that I have are the keys to my classroom. I do not have a key to the building or anything else within the school. Because, well, one year I did have a swipe card where I could swipe into the building, and I literally would go on Saturdays to school. And I know it was such a bad year for teacher burnout for me. So I'm really glad that I can't do that anymore. So.
Okay, well, my training has been non-existent. I believe in the last episode we discussed the 10-miler that I did that resulted in a very, very large blister on my big toe. It has finally, now 2 weeks later, gotten to the point where this is going to get gross, so maybe skip ahead 30 seconds.
Trigger warning, nasty.
Yeah, it had, it was huge. It was bigger than a quarter. It had fluid. It was also red. It is currently still red. I'm pretty sure my toe is bruised underneath, but there's no longer fluid. The skin does not hurt. There is no pain. So I feel comfortable starting running again this week.
Question: did you
Yeah.
name it? Do you name your blisters?
I did not name my blister, no.
Okay, all right. I think
Do
by
you
the
name
look on
yours?
if it's like a big honking one like that, like I think my most recent like big honker like of a blister, I think it was named Chester. And
Oh,
then I had to put Chester out of his misery.
Good
And
did
name.
you
pop
pop
him.
Chester?
I did have to pop Chester.
I didn't.
And
Okay.
I don't do it unless I absolutely have to, like can't get a shoe on, have to, and I do it safely. I sanitize my tools and I pop and I just reduce the pressure down.
So I kind of lucked out. I don't know if this is lucky or not. One, I was on vacation at the beach, so did not have to wear any closed-toed shoes on this occasion, which gave me a lot of like breathing room. Also, it didn't fully pop, but it leaked. So there was like a teeny
Ooh.
tiny hole along the edge. So it was almost like it was self pressure, like regulating of like the pressure never got so high, but it also meant that my toe was constantly wet.
Ew.
So yeah, blisters.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
But it's better now, which means I can start running, which means I've done nothing for 2 weeks.
Oh
Trigger
my.
warning for blister over if you haven't tuned back in.
I have never named my blisters, but I had a sebaceous cyst that I first realized it in 6th grade, and then I just had it for forever. And I was doing my college program at Disney in 2017, and there was a real good picture of me on Space Mountain, the ride photo,
Mhm.
and you could clearly see the sebaceous cyst chilling for, it's been there for forever. And my mom finally went, I'm making you an appointment to get that thing removed. And I know. So I got it
What a
removed in
way.
2018. I know. Because you could see it on the Space Mountain ride photo. And right when my mom announced at Sunday night dinner with my family that Caitlin's going to get her sebaceous cyst removed.
Oh my god.
That was when my little cousin went, we need to name it.
Icon.
So his name was Timmy. R.I.P. Timmy. He lived for so long without a name. And then weeks before he got removed, he was named Timmy. I still have the scar.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well then retroactively, I think we should either name it my blister, Bob, Bartholomew, or Linus. I don't know. Those are the ones that
Absolutely
came
Bartholomew.
Bartholomew.
Absolutely.
100%. Linus is like a close second, but Bartholomew.
Oh,
Right.
Linus is a good one because of the How
Poor
I Met
little
Your Mother
Barty
bit.
Crouch.
Where it's like, thank you, Linus. But no, Bartholomew is a good one for this
Bartholomew.
one. He's
Mhm.
classy. He overstayed his welcome a little bit. He kind of was a little messy, like leaking everywhere and whatnot. So
He
Oh, no, the
impersonated
Hankins have
Mad
been
Eye
off the door.
Moody. It's fine.
And his dad is weird.
It's okay. He could be Bartholomew the Third.
Oh goodness.
Little Barty Crouch the Third.
I hope you missed us.
I missed this so much.
Kaitlin, how was your training going?
Oh my gosh. It's been going great, actually. Because, so even though we haven't had this podcast, I've been telling myself someday we will probably get back, and I can't be the one who's not training. So,
It's okay. It's my turn.
okay. So I had been running this week, which was really great. Oh, I also have another
Woo!
question. I teach a special ed class this year. Yeah, I have one section of special ed, and so far, and I do have a co-teacher. She's a gem of a human being. I love her. It's the last class period of the day, and I get my lovely co-teacher with me all 5 days a week. And she has some health issues right now, so she's kind of confined to like a chair, which is totally fine. She still helps me a ton. But so far, we've had one child who just got up and sprinted out of the class. Just sprinted down the hallway. We call them elopers. And I
Okay.
looked at her real fast. That is the technical term for it. So I looked over at Nancy and I was like, "You got the other 26 of them?" And she was like, "You're good. You go." And I was like, "Okay, here we go. Marathon training." We ran around the school.
You just did a fartlek. You just
Yeah.
you did some speed work is what I'm hearing.
Yes. You know, this school that I'm at this year, we have multiple buildings. Like when they say campus, they mean campus. There are like 4 buildings that the children have to like walk outside and go to class and like the
So
next
much
building
trust.
over. Yeah. How do they do this? They're high schoolers. Like I could
mean,
never.
we had mobile units, so they had to trust us to go outside.
Oh man. I
We
don't trust
weren't.
these
I went
kids
to
to go
Catholic
outside.
school.
I went to a public high school. We only had the one building.
Now, I kind of want to see, like, if you were to take every route, like, throughout your campus of your high school, like, how much mileage would that be?
I
That's
know,
what I
right?
want.
We're
Well,
gonna look. That's
okay.
your homework for next week, Kaitlin, is to
That's
figure
actually a
that
really
out.
good assignment. That's really
That'd be
good.
a
I'm
really
gonna
fun
do that
run,
though.
honestly. Like, on a Saturday when no one's there. Oh, wait, no, we don't go on Saturdays.
All right, let's get into some dates.
Yay!
All right, here. Let's get some countdowns. Since we've been off for a while, they may have jumped since you last listened. So don't be shocked.
Exactly.
We have
Life comes at you pretty fast.
9 days until Disneyland Halloween half marathon. You're
Oh my
almost a week
gosh.
out, which is wild.
Wow.
And there are still spots for registration if you are not registered and want to spontaneously run in that race. 65 days until Wine and Dine. Whoop, whoop.
That's us.
Yeah, it's like 2 months.
Yes. Oh
Isn't
my
that
gosh.
wild?
I'm so excited.
It's
What are we
making me
gonna
very
be?
scared.
Oh
I
my
still like our
gosh.
not DuckTales. Why did
Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Yeah, yeah. I like DuckTales. I think we should do it. And then we've
Huey,
got
Dewey, and Louie.
100
Okay.
134 days until marathon weekend, baby. This is a race.
Yes.
Crazy.
This is the goal.
I'm so excited.
I'm not ready. Natalie and I's like official training starts in a little over a week. Actually, a week
Oh, the Run Fit
exactly
Mama
from
training.
recording, not from drop.
Right,
Yeah.
next Sunday,
Mhm.
September 1st. Oh my gosh.
So it will be
Wow.
super official, and I'm not ready. Then we've got
Ooh.
156 days until Disneyland Half Marathon 2025. We've got 177 days until Princess Weekend 2025, with proof of deadline also coming up on September 1st. So if you're listening to this on drop day, you've got less than a week to get that in. Do not forget. And then we've got 219 days until Springtime Surprise Weekend. And if you're listening again on the day we drop this, it's general registration today. So we hope this brings you some joy, and we wish you all the best of luck in getting whatever races your heart desires. Proof of time deadline for Springtime Surprise will be October 1st. So you got a little over a month to get that in. And then last but not least, advanced dining reservations are coming up for us to make selections for our wine and dine stay. So if you have if you're going to wine and dine, your advanced dining reservations may also be coming up quickly.
Indeed.
All right.
Oh man,
Any other
what we'll have
dates?
to add is not that it applies right now, but is when like your multi-pass, if you're going to use that.
Oh my
Because that'll be
gosh.
like, I mean, that'll
Oh
be
my
a week out.
goodness.
So I just
Yeah.
thought, I'm like, oh man, that'll be something else to add to the gambit of
Ooh.
things. But yeah,
Mhm.
ADRs are coming up, which is crazy because it like wasn't coming, and then now we're here and about at the 60-day mark for wine and dine.
I'm very curious to know, what are the ADRs that you want to make, Natalie? Because I know you were saying that you've got some favorites.
Yeah, I think that for the most part, I just like to secure my nice old lady early dinner on Saturday. 'Cause
But where? Like, I'm totally
yeah.
fine with old lady 3 p.m. dinner. 100% I'm down. But what's the location?
So one of the ones I've gone to quite a bit is Terralina at Disney Springs. I've also have done Maria and Enzo's, which is also at Disney Springs, a little bit closer to the food, or closer to like the where the Aerophile big balloon is. That one was actually pretty good. I was a little surprised how much I liked it. I remember like, my chicken parm was good, very good. That's kind of usually that. And then if there's any sort of like celebration type thing we want to get, or something that's hard to get, maybe putting that closer to Tuesday or like our last day uh, for that. But I don't really have any ideas particularly.
Do you want to eat in the park or just Disney Springs?
I guess it probably depends what your guys' plans are, because I've made park passes. I just kind of made them willy nilly, so I didn't forget to make them. Uh,
Does it only
so
matter for me since I'm the only one without a annual pass?
oh yeah,
Yeah, you don't need a park you don't need a park reservation. You're good.
yeah. Or it depends like what your what if you're gonna make that a park day or
Unless you're gonna
not.
upgrade.
I'm still
Upgrade.
contemplating. I still haven't decided. But yeah, the only place
Fair.
I've been to is Terralina for like a pre-race dinner with Ben.
I haven't been to any of those places.
They're both pretty good. I think Terralina, I feel like, always shocks me how like not inexpensive it is. I mean, it's like, okay, it's still Disney prices for food, so like, but like, and they're pretty generous with their discount as well. With They do a runner discount of 20% off your food. Usually, I'm not going to guarantee it because it's, it is not case by case, but like weekend by weekend, like what shops do it. However, after like the third year in a row where Terralina has always had this discount, I'm gonna feel pretty confident in saying that it will likely return. But it's nice because
Ooh.
it's 20 over your AP, like 10%.
Oh,
And I
so you
feel
get both? You can stack them?
oh no, you can't stack it. It's just that it's a
Oh.
greater discount.
Oh, just
Uh,
kidding.
a
Okay.
stack would be
Yeah.
sweet. And then I guess in
Yeah.
general, there are just other vendors that have discounts during run weekends. So when event guides come out, make sure you look at that in the expo guide, just because there's a lot to it. Where I've gotten flip flops before from Sanuk, which is a place that makes them out of like recycled, like I think it's like bottles or something like that. But flip flops where I think they were like either 10 or 20% off because it was a race weekend and I was a runner. So definitely look at your hot tip. Look at event guides for different discounts of different retailers from Disney Springs throughout your race weekend.
Good idea. Yeah.
Yay. Yeah, that didn't answer the question of like what we want to do, but we'll have to just chat offline about that. The only thing I could think of when you asked was like, well, I really do want to day drink around Animal Kingdom.
Oh my gosh, yes. I want to do that so bad.
Day drink and do Wilderness Explorers because, okay, like the landscape of Animal Kingdom, like as a segue into what we're going to talk about next, the landscape of Animal Kingdom is going to be changing.
I know.
Dun dun dun
I'm
dun.
Yeah.
so
Let's get
pumped
into
about it.
D23 news.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's funny because we haven't even talked about it like at all, the three of us, even offline, of
Mhm.
what our D23 reactions, etc. did. I did watch some dude who's a real homie who live streamed the entirety of the thing from their seat, and they were like up there in the balcony, but you couldn't really tell that much until they zoomed out at the end of the recording. But I watched it, and I had my friend of pod Jamie in town, and he actually sat and watched the whole thing with me.
Oh,
But
good
he
old
was like
Jamie.
he was like I honestly wasn't that interested, but like the hype around this event was great of all the cool stuff they're doing. But I watched the live, and I told myself I wasn't gonna watch the live stream, but when I saw one come, I'm like, okay, I'll watch like a little of it, and then I watched the whole thing. I literally fell out of my chair by the end of it. I was like, on the ground, and there's visual evidence of this. Not my spouse's, Jamie's,
Of
but
course, yeah. I mean,
I was at
I'm
the
pretty
beach.
sure.
So I
Yeah.
saw none of it.
Lucky.
My dad spontaneously would be like, "Hey, did you see this D23 news?" And I'd be like, "Why? Why do you know?" Mostly, I think he
Sir?
was making fun of me. But
Oh.
so I have minimal context, so it might be sort of amusing if you guys talk about it, of like what you saw, and then maybe I react because maybe I didn't hear about it.
Ooh, blind react.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess we were
Lots
talking
of
about Jack.
stuff.
We were talking about Animal
Well,
Kingdom.
okay. Well, I guess like the minor news is like they had a ton of announcements about movies,
Oh yeah.
and new TV shows coming out. So,
Mhm.
which there were a lot actually. There were a ton, which was very cool.
We're getting
And
a
then
Frozen Pro Shot on Disney Plus. So like
we're getting like a Frozen 3 and 4.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the Broadway musical. Like the Pro Shot of the West End version of Frozen will be released on Disney Plus because Frozen its Broadway or it's like Broadway national tour is ending. So it's no longer on Broadway. It closed like when the pandemic happened and did not reopen. And then the tour was going and the tour is ending in about a week, I believe. So it's kind of nice, I guess, that'll be a way to watch Frozen, the Broadway thing. And I'm very sad I did not see it when it came to me in Nebraska, but well, we don't have to get into that.
I
But
tried
yeah,
to
a lot of
text
Disney's
my I
is
tried to
cool.
text my niece about the new Frozen stuff coming out, and she was like, "Ugh, Aunt Caitlin, I already know." And I was like, "Well then, okay." The 8-year-old knows more than me. Okay.
We love.
Yeah, my sister sent me this whole thing on Instagram about every single movie coming out. Some of them we already know, like Moana 2 and Mufasa, and then they're getting Captain America, the Snow White, Elio, Fantastic Four, the Lilo and Stitch live action. That sounded really
I
interesting.
have feelings about the live action.
Oh my, let's get into it.
They are not great feelings.
Oh, okay, never mind. We're
Our
not going to get
boy.
into it.
No.
What?
It's not like I'm just really skeptical. I'm not usually like I'm not the kind of person who's like live action is stupid. Why can't they come up with new ideas? Like I love it. But there's something for me specifically about Lilo and Stitch that like the charm of Lilo and Stitch for me is that it's animated and like that's part of the charm of Stitch. And so I'm
You
just
know,
like a little
Yeah.
hesitant on the
Mm.
live action CGI of Stitch.
I
But
do love the animated version. I think you're right. I
Mhm.
tried to show it to my niece. She was so terrified. I had to fast forward to the surfing scene where it was like fun and happy and they're like
Mhm.
singing the Hawaiian roller coaster song.
I
And she
listened to that on my way to
still,
work.
she was like, "Hey, Caitlin, I can't watch it. I'm too scared. This is scary. It's scary." I know. And I was like, "Okay, well, we'll fast forward to the ending. It's a happy ending." And she was like, "No, I can't do it." So maybe for her, if it was live action, she thought the people looked creepy. That
I
and
worry that
Gantu.
like how are you like
Gantu
live
scared
action
her.
makes things worse, right? Like scary wise.
Creepier.
Like yeah, for
Right.
me like that's a step up. So if like kids are
I don't
already
know.
scared.
I think
I
Again,
also
don't
the
I'm not
know.
trying to
sad
bash it.
undertone. Yeah. The sad
It
undertones of the
was
movie, like where it's like, oh my god,
the ugly duckling.
these kids are orphans and like Nani's trying her best and she's working really hard and like essentially like a protective services is coming for this child because of like they're in a bad situation and the system is failing them. It's really sad. And I feel like real people are going to make that so much worse. Of like, oh
I
man.
am willing to bet that they tweak the storyline in that transition to like soften that a bit. Like I think I mean for a lot of kids, like yeah, it's a rough storyline, but also like that's probably something that they don't see very often, and I do like that it ends up happy, like family forever. But yeah, we'll see. I'm definitely going to still see it because I'm curious. I'm very, very curious. I'm just currently hesitant.
Yeah, that is fair. I know I'll eventually watch it too. It might not be one where like Moana, like, am I absolutely going to have a cinematic experience in a theater the way that Nicole Kidman tells me I need to? Absolutely. When we're here, we come together. We
I
come to this
remember seeing the
place.
first Moana in theaters, and
Oh,
that was so good.
I love Moana so much.
I
So
can't
like that
wait
one I'm
for
gonna
all of these
absolutely,
movies.
absolutely gonna do in theaters versus like I might wait for Stitch 2 a little bit, or live action Lilo and Stitch to come out to the Disney Plus.
Some
Unless
of
they
feel
get
like
involved in.
these.
I feel like this
What?
is gonna be for Moana 2. I'm gonna like book ahead of time, potentially like night of a release. Like I'm so excited about Moana 2. And we have this, well, I mean they have them all over the place, but we have a place we like that does like dine in. And so like make
Ooh.
it a full
The fancy
event.
ones, the
Yeah.
fancy movie
Where
theaters
the
where the
waiter brings
receipt
you the
climbs
food.
way back. Yes, those
Mm-hmm.
are so good. Mm-hmm.
Guess when
Yep.
it comes
Some
out.
November. Your birthday! I was like November 27th of this
It's
year. Yes. Oh my gosh. Date
my
night.
my Barbenheimer double special is gonna be Wicked and then Moana 2. In that order. I think it has to
Ooh.
be in that order.
Oh, I want to see Wicked so bad.
I'm so
Non-Disney movie. Some of these movies on this list that my sister sent me, I'm really excited about, and then others I'm a little like I'm really excited about Freakier Friday because
Oh yeah.
it's Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan and they're starring in it together again. I
Really?
know it's gonna be so
Wow.
good. That I remember seeing Freaky Friday in the movie theaters when I was a little kid, and we went to some special showing where they showed it in the theaters before it was supposed to come out, like
Mm-hmm.
the day
Oh,
before or something, some special preview, and that was such a good movie. But then like they're announcing Toy Story 5 and I'm like, really?
I
Uh
I can't believe
personally,
they
I love
Palpatined it.
Toy Story. I know. I love
Somehow
Toy
Woody
Story
came back.
so much. Oh,
Spoiler alert for Toy Story
but
4.
Toy Story is such a good franchise. It is just, I grew up with the whole franchise. I was Jessie from Toy Story 2 for Halloween one time when I was little. I had like all of the little toys, and I was obsessed with Toy Story and still am. But Toy Story 4, I feel like it was such a cash grab and it was really unnecessary. And now they're making a Toy Story 5 and it's about how technology, like digital technology, can compete with old fashioned toys. And like in the promo, it's Bonnie playing on an iPad and all of her toys, like Woody, Bo Peep, all of them are lined up there at the foot of her bed watching her on her iPad, and they're like, are we supposed to be doing something right now? Like, it just seems like such a weird concept for a movie.
It sounds a little too
It's a little
is
it's a
meta
little
the
too close to home.
Yeah. Wait, I what I want to know is how they personify electronics. Like, is it like each app is going to be it? Because like her screen time is
I
going to be like
If an
up there.
iPad comes to life when Bonnie leaves the room, I
Bold
will
of you to
I
think
will
that she's not
leave the
taking it with
theater.
her.
I will right. Right, her iPad, she's probably going to be carrying it around constantly. But if an iPad comes to life, I will physically remove myself from the movie theater. I cannot. That's just way too creepy. We
if the
already
iP-
think that our phones listen to us way too much.
if the iPad comes to life, then this is no longer a fictional movie. This is a
Yep,
nonfiction
it's
documentary.
real.
Documentary.
Stares into the camera like The Office.
Oh my god. No, literally
I want to.
watching when they talked about that, and they just showed this still frame picture of Bonnie sitting there on her iPad and all the little toys like lined up at the foot of her bed watching her. I was like, my child will never touch an iPad. I do not care. I do not care. Like, maybe if we enroll our future children in some like kindergarten program and they're like, we are 1-to-1 with devices, and every kid goes home with their own little iPad and they get to do their little leapfrog activities on it, I'll be like, no, thank you. I'll be like, I would rather put my child anywhere else instead
Oh
of
my
having them look
God.
at a screen for 8 hours.
I had a
wasn't
thought about a
described as an iPad
leapfrog.
kid.
You would have?
My husband calls me an iPad kid sometimes. Not that I was one, but sometimes I just sit quietly and like, especially so in my old consulting life, especially I got used to working in the back of my Uber to the airport. So I would just hotspot and finish some things up because I had certain meetings that were right before my normal time to leave for the airport. And I had certain deliverables that had to get done that day. So I got really used to working in the back of a car. So sometimes I can just sit very quietly and work in the back of the car. So he calls me a little iPad kid.
He does not drive you around with you sitting in the backseat of the car, does
No,
he?
no, God, no. No, just the way that like we took a flight today. We were coming back from a wedding, and how I've just am playing my little phone game while like the TV's going on our United flight, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're like a little iPad kid." I like my phone. I like to indulge in my phone games while I'm on the plane. Okay. Big fan. I have a little hotel.
God.
It's fantastic. It's a little game where like I like run around doing things in a hotel. It's a lot of fun. Not sponsored because I didn't even name the hotel or game. So, but I'm open for it though. I'm working on my ancient hotel, which is like ancient Greece inspired. I have a spooky hotel. I got like a moon hotel. It's pretty cool.
I'm so impressed, Natalie.
I
Let's
don't
get
even
back to
know.
D23 news.
There was no hotel news. Actually, that surprised me a little bit that there wasn't really any sort of resort type of news, which a good surprise. I didn't feel like there was really any the additional information that came out about the Poly Tower was after. So anyway,
Yeah.
And we've known about it. We've seen it.
Oh, yeah,
We've
yeah.
seen the construction, so it's kind of old news.
Yeah. No, just some of the bars and stuff that look kind of cool with that, but that wasn't part of D23. That looks neat.
All right, so we've covered movies. We've covered there's no hotel news. We can either do park news
Parks.
or
Parks and experiences. Let's go.
The 3 hours I spent on that on my couch.
I didn't watch any live streams, but I heard a lot of news and read a lot of stuff. The only thing that I watched was the Legends ceremony on Disney Plus. So good. It was really cute. I watched Miley Cyrus got her award. Her speech was great.
I've seen snippets. Oh.
I really loved it. Harrison Ford had a really great speech too. I was kind of surprised at how like humble and accepting and grateful he was, because like he only talked about how much he hated being Han Solo. And he only kept asking for his character to die, and then they just kept bringing him back. So yeah.
Good times.
All right.
And then John Williams is a Disney legend too, which I can't believe he wasn't before.
I know. And Joe Rohde.
Oh yeah,
Joe Rohde finally got his recognition. That was a really good speech too.
I'll have to watch the live stream.
You gotta watch it. Yeah, it should be. It wasn't like a live stream. It was like edited.
Okay.
Like they had multiple camera angles. It was good to watch. It wasn't just like a boring static camera angle. Bob Iger was there. It was a good show. I highly recommend. It was like 2.5 hours or something crazy, stupid long like that, but still really
you can
good.
probably skip around then to the people you do care to hear.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, should we go park by park? Is there multiple parks?
There was international parks. There's California stuff. There's Florida stuff. So you've literally heard nothing?
None of it. I know there's. I heard Villains.
Yes.
And
okay,
I fell out of my chair.
I
was
have
on the floor.
Mixed feelings about Dark Park, which is the official name for Villains Land.
Okay.
They're putting it in Magic Kingdom. So I liked the idea that it is somewhat behind Fantasyland and Liberty Square. So basically, think behind Haunted Mansion. That's gonna be an
Oh.
entrance into this dark park.
Okay.
But I don't know if you've heard this yet.
Probably not.
Hollywood Studios is getting Monsters Inc. land. We don't know
Okay.
where it's gonna go. Rumors, Natalie's bracing herself. Rumors are that they are taking out Muppets and Star Tours and putting in a. I know.
Star Tours?
I know.
All right.
How dare
So
they?
I think, and I've read enough of the discourse on the winterwebs at this point, and based on some like insider news. No, I don't have insider news. I just saw a tweet, and that I think it's going to go in Animation Courtyard. So that's where Launch Bay
Good.
is, the Disney Junior, and
Take
also
out
it makes
Launch
more
Bay.
sense. It makes more because people who have offices back there are being told that they're
Yeah.
vacating them. So like because
Which they weren't really supposed to. They were not supposed to like let that
Tweet was
information out.
deleted.
So
just like
right,
when Queen Elizabeth
but
died and somebody tweeted too early, and then they like made the full announcement a couple hours later. I was at the Indiana Jones Epic Spectacular when that happened, and my fiance at the time, I was like, "Hey, can you watch the BBC right now and like figure out if she died?"
Fiance now husband.
Yes.
Just,
yeah. Oh yeah. No, same person. Just like he was new fiance, so I was getting used to that title. No, Mr. Natalie.
Right.
As you
I totally think that they need to take out Animation Courtyard, everything that's in there, because there's really nothing of value besides the meet and greet with Darth Vader back there.
Isn't
like
everything back there kind of almost shut down anyways? Like they never really brought it.
Yes, the Little Mermaid.
Back.
That's the Little Mermaid though. Has nothing. Oh, really? And then they've got the Disney Junior dance party. That is, I don't really care about it. Sorry. Yeah. And then I don't have kids. Sorry.
I don't think that doesn't take up enough real estate that like I feel like if they moved it even to some of the buildings in the little like Pixar, like what you like not I don't want to call it Pixar Place, but that little area back there where some of those meet and greets are, I feel like that can take that or like some of that real estate and it not be a big material problem.
See, right? Hollywood Studios is, I'm guessing, the smallest geographic park in Florida for the Walt Disney World Resort. So why are they thinking about replacing things? I don't really know why they can't just add on additions. I feel like that would make more sense in terms of capacity, and it's such a popular park. Like, get more people in there and have more things for them to do. But I don't know why they're contemplating taking out Indiana Jones, the stunt show. That would be awful.
Because they need people leaders. They need to
they do. And Indiana Jones is a good show, and it's one of the like semi-original things of what used to be MGM Studios. So I mean, like, keep it. And then people are trying to say that Muppets is supposed to be like a historical site because it was like the last thing that Jim Henson ever worked on. So I also feel like let's not get rid of it. I mean, the past few times that I've been to Hollywood Studios, I have gone to Muppets. My last 3 visits to Hollywood Studios, I have done Muppets. Good. I'm trying to keep it alive for you. Yeah.
Amen. Absolutely. It's a religious site. No, but I think that it's a good point of like capacity where taking out something like Star Tours, which doesn't usually have such a long line because it's got so many different theaters in there.
Yeah, because you can remove BB-8 and Chewbacca and put them in Galaxy's Edge, and that's fine. Yeah. The only one that they say that wouldn't fit into the storyline is Darth Vader. But I don't know why we have him. He belongs in Disneyland. But whatever. But that's really the only thing. I mean, it is kind of sad that Launch Bay used to be Animation Courtyard, which is like where they made the Lilo and Stitch cartoon movie, and they made Brother Bear and like all these other films. So like that's kind of cool. But at the same, it's not that anymore. They took that out and changed it. So maybe they could change it again. Like that would be fine. I don't know. But so anyway, like I was trying to say, They're putting in a Monsters Inc. land, and they're giving us the Monsters Inc. roller coaster. It's a your feet dangle. It's a roller coaster, and you're suspended, and you're in
Like the
in a
Doors?
seat.
Yeah.
Yes, we're finally getting that like Doors roller coaster thing where you load on, and then there's going to be like a claw that like comes down, grabs onto your ride vehicle, and then it lifts you up like 50 feet into the air, and then you just go. They had like a whole model of the ride, and there's no like upside down. It's nothing too exciting. You're just kind of like swinging around and making all these tight turns. But it looks really cool. I think Dark Park and Monsters Inc. Land could go right next to each other. Monsters, villains. Put Dark Park in Hollywood Studios. Why would you put villains next to Fantasyland? The drawings look really scary. So
I feel like Disney does such a good job though of that separation, and they're kind of like a yin and yang of like Fantasyland.
Magic Kingdom already has like 48 attractions.
Yeah,
and they're
true.
already talking about, that was another thing, beyond Frontierland. I always pronounce it wrong. Everybody makes fun of me. Is it Frontierland or Frontierland?
Frontier.
Frontier.
Frontier?
Yeah, like front, like the front.
It's the final frontier.
Front, like the front of something.
Frontierland. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever. It's like the only word that in the English language that I can't pronounce, apparently. So, whatever. That one.
Caitlin's students turning this off right now. She's not a history teacher. It's fine.
Beyond Big Thunder, behind that, we're getting a Cars Land. Yes.
Okay.
So that's going to be really exciting. Apparently, it's not Radiator Springs Racers because we already have Test Track. But we're getting that big mountain. Like, have you been to Disneyland?
No, I've never been
Yeah,
to.
so
Well, maybe as a child. I don't think so.
You haven't been to Disneyland?
No.
You haven't been to DCA?
Nope.
We're changing
That'd be weird
this.
if you went. That'd be weird if
We're
you went
changing
to
it.
DCA, not Disneyland Park. But
Whatever. But you haven't been to DCA since they've changed everything in 2012.
No.
Oh my god. Okay. Anyway.
Sidebar.
Oh my god. So, Cars Land in DCA, it feels like you've stepped into the animated Pixar movie. It's mind-blowingly amazing.
Yeah.
We're getting that, but they have three attractions in their Cars Land. We're gonna get 2, but we're getting 2 different ones.
Okay.
So, because they have an e-ticket called Radiator Springs Racers, it is literally Test Track copied and pasted, but they redesigned it. Like, it's themed to be like you're going through Radiator Springs.
Okay.
Very cute. It is like Test Track, but better. Kind of like how Indiana Jones is Dinosaur, but better. So,
okay.
Right.
Yes,
So.
Natalie, you have a question.
I do. That was actually just me pouring one out for the big guy. However, but I'm pouring one out for Dr. Seeker. But where the Cars Frontier Land area is going to go is they're going to take out Tom Sawyer Island.
Thank you.
Really?
I'm so glad. Yes, I forgot to mention that part.
Confirmed.
Yes. Mark Twain was such a racist, okay? If Disney is trying to eliminate all forms of racism and anything like negative, horrible storytelling from the past, like they just closed down Peter Pan and they did a really quick little refurb where they took out the one Native American scene and then they reimagined it to be more realistic of what actual Native Americans do. And there's been so much like everybody's praising that Disney did this. So if they're trying to like eliminate all forms of racism from the parks and their movies, good. Thank you for taking out Tom Sawyer Island. I have an English degree. I'm allowed to say this.
Okie dokie. Okay, so is there other news for Magic Kingdom?
Oh, there's tons of news.
Yes, a nighttime parade is going to come back to the Magic Kingdom in summer
Yes.
2025. Woo!
I'm really
was the
excited
first-
about it.
That was the first announcement for Walt Disney World that came out of D23, where they were talking about Disneyland Forward, and then they went to nighttime entertainment, and that had involved some of the international parks. And they're like, a nighttime parade is coming back to the Magic Kingdom. I freaked. I'm excited.
I'm really excited about this too. I'm super pumped because Main Street Electrical was awesome.
When did they close the last one?
Oh,
Like,
they
stop running it.
The Main Street Electrical is a thing that Disney can just keep in their back pocket, and then they'll be like, for a limited time, Main Street Electrical. So it's like it goes away and it comes back, and it goes away and it
Okay.
comes back. So I mean, I saw it in 2017. I don't know when else they had it. I don't remember.
So is this like this is going to be running
It's not
regularly?
Main Street Electrical. Yes. It
Okay.
should be a daily thing. We don't know if it's going to be like once per night or twice per night. I'm hoping for twice, like both before and after fireworks. That would be really nice. But
That would be interesting for the landscape of the parks, just because it's been so long. So actually it closed in 2016 in Magic Kingdom.
Right.
But I think it had I know it had a couple couple over at Disneyland for the summers. So I know I saw it in 2019 in Disneyland because it was there. It was around before it glows away for a temporary period of time. But I'd be curious because I feel like the landscape of the parks and the way that fireworks and stuff work are just so different, because Wishes was still running when when Main Street Electrical left the Magic Kingdom.
And then they also had like a different nighttime performance that wasn't fireworks. And so they would like really stack. Yeah, well, they had one thing and it was like something about one man's dream or whatever, or like Walt's dream or something. And then during my college program, that was when they had Happily Ever After. And then they had a different nighttime show called Once Upon a Time. And it was just a castle projection show.
Yeah.
But it was cute. It bothered me that they would do Happily Ever After before Once Upon a Time. But
thematically
whatever.
Problematic.
Yes. I was like, can we do Once Upon a Time first and then Happily Ever After? I don't know. Just me. But whatever. It's fine. Yeah, they had something and it was really cute. It made me cry. So I know it was good. And it was something they had Walt's voice was in the end. I can't remember what it's called now, but it was cute. And it was something about him drawing Mickey for the first time. And then at the very, very end, you hear Walt say, "And to all who come to this happy place, welcome."
All right. Well, if you're listening and you know what this is, comment or send us a message.
I'm going to look it up. I'm going to Google it.
Yeah, I guess it's interesting how the landscape of the parks has changed, though, with projection shows and people like lining up for I want a good spot for Happily Ever After or Enchantment at the time, like at the castle. So I guess what's going to happen is that people are just that part of the park's going to be almost like unusable for more time, because it makes me think of like the Halloween party where they have the 9 o'clock or 9:15 running of Boo to You, and then they also at 11:15. So it's kind of like that, like whole chunk of the park, and the fireworks are in the middle of that, I believe, at 10:15, and it's like
Celebrate
boom,
the
boom,
Magic.
boom.
Sorry,
yes,
called Celebrate the Magic.
Celebrate
the Magic.
Yeah.
It was a really good show.
Oh yeah, the world filled with magic. Yeah, that's just brought back some of the music. So I'm curious how that'll change the landscape of the parks with having a nighttime parade. But super duper excited about it, to be honest.
Me too.
It'll be fun.
And people are also really, really hoping that this prolongs the park day, like the park hours. Because now Magic Kingdom will close at 9, 10, maybe 11 p.m. on a late night. But the parks used to close at 1 a.m. And it was like the final doors are shutting at 2 a.m. So why is it that the park closes at like 10? Like, that's not enough time.
It's a long day.
It is a really long day, but there are 48 attractions, man. That's why I'm saying, why do we need 2 Cars attractions and 2 Villains attractions? We already have enough to do. Put them in Hollywood Studios or
How are you going to sell a
Epcot.
park hopper?
I don't know, but like Animal Kingdom
Are
has
they?
6 rides that are on the multi-lane fast pass service.
Are they adding
Like
more to Animal
6.
Kingdom or Epcot?
I mean, if you count they're going to do the Indiana Jones. We're going to get a carousel ride in that South America land. And we're also going to get the Casita house from Encanto.
And that's replacing where Dinosaur is?
Dino Land USA.
Okay.
In the arms
So,
of the
I mean, they
angel,
already took out
fly
Primeval
away.
World. What?
I'm sorry, in the arms of the angel, fly away from here.
That's
Rip
why
Dino Land.
I videotaped the pre-show to Dinosaur with Dr. Seeker, just because I was like, someday this is gonna be YouTube relic gold. So,
Yeah. I'm a little sad. I'm so happy because what they're doing with Indiana
so
Jones is
happy.
it's a
Gonna be way
new
better.
story. And so it's not just a copy paste from Disneyland. It's going to be a like Mayan ruin, like set in South America. So they're
Mm-hmm.
giving us a new story. It is a reskinning of the ride, but it's a new story with it. But I am a little sad. And they haven't announced the imminent closure date of Dinosaur or Dino Land. So kind of run Disney related news is I wonder when they're going to do it because they haven't announced it. So I don't know if some context for you guys is that with the marathon course usually exits near Dino Land. So I don't know exactly when they're going to break ground. Also, when they're going to announce the last date, because I don't think it'll be before Wine and Dine. I would be shocked if that I honestly my prediction is that it stays through the holiday season and they start breaking ground and they close it after marathon weekend. Not just that I'm delusionally hopeful that they do it so I can get on it one more time and like kind of experience that area again one more time, but I just don't see there being a good time. Not necessarily good time, but I don't know. I guess I'd have to look into when they announced the last date of Splash Mountain before they closed it because they closed it right after
Oh
marathon
yeah.
weekend as well. But I'm trying to.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'd have to look up when the announcement was because I want to say like I knew for a while that. Like I knew that marathon weekend would be my last chance to ride it, and then I didn't because
Oh.
my last ride on it. It was right after I had gotten engaged, so I like took the plunge, ring and all. It was awesome by myself on a trip after my engagement without my now husband. But it's fine. But I'd be curious to see. I don't think that they're going to do it before the holiday season this year. I think that's where I still have some questions about when that timeline, what that type of timeline looks like. And precedent doesn't necessarily mean it's not a guarantee if anything, but I'd be shocked because they also specifically Josh D'Amaro specifically said that you're going to have some time to still experience Dino Land as is, experience Dinosaur as is. So I would be shocked if it were like a November time, like closing at this point. I would be really, really surprised. I think it'll probably be late January, if not early February, that they close down Dinosaur. And I don't know if they're going to completely block off Dino Land or they're going to. I think that doing it in phases makes a little more sense. But I'm not in charge. I'd be a bean counter for not Disney. So I don't know how the things go here, there, and everywhere. And then also, Bugs Life is going to be turning into a Zootopia themed show.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. I
Oh,
forgot about that.
they've been saying that for a long time though that they're getting ready to change that.
Yeah, I think that of all the Zootopia news we could have gotten, that was the least offensive, not offensive, but like least like bad because like I used to be on the like Zootopia and Animal Kingdom train, but I'm like, well, it's really just like this is a very humanoid story and like just using animals as vehicles for the humanoid story. So I'm fine with it being a replacement for the Bugs Life show. Hopefully they get rid of, butt stinging wasps and there's none of those. Oh man, I have a joke I cannot make. Like, in like a Zootopia show, but I think some new life into that attraction would be good. So that's another thing I'd like to pay my respects to. Just
I
one more
agree.
time. Get a
I
little
did
like
do that.
the butt wasp one more time. The
Yeah.
stinger or like the dung beetles like sliding out when you're leaving the theater.
We went when I took the kids that I nanny in July. That was the last thing we did before leaving Animal Kingdom and getting on the Uber to go to the airport. And I think that might have been the biggest jump scare of the trip was Bug's Life in the Tree of Life. Yep. It was a good show.
I won't be. I mean, it's fine, and I have some nostalgia, but I won't be like just super
Yeah,
sad
I
when
won't be
it's
too
gone
upset. Yeah, because that's the good thing about the Disney Imagineering is they know that they have to plus it and make it better. So they wouldn't just take something away that we love and then make it worse. So I trust them. I think it's fine. And Animal Kingdom, they kind of need more life into that park anyway. As great of a park as it is, people don't appreciate it as much. So we need to get some more people into DAC.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do we have any more D23 news we want to cover before we move on to our next topic?
Yeah, there's a lot of news for California. DCA got most of the love with
oh my
Vendors
gosh.
Campus.
I forgot. Yes, California. But not that Hannah cares because she's never been. So
Rip. She doesn't even go
Maybe
here.
someday.
yeah.
Yes.
She doesn't even go here.
You know what's even worse about that? My parents lived in California for 4 or 5 years and I never went.
That's what surprised me about that is that you didn't go like when I know your parents were a lot further north though. So
yeah, they were in San
San
Francisco, so
oh, that's far. That's a plane ride.
I'm pretty sure my parents like my parents and my younger siblings, I think they only ever went 2 times in that whole 5 years maybe. Yeah. So
wait, where were you?
I was graduated living on my own post college.
Oh,
when they moved to California, so
this was that recent?
Yeah, they moved there literally a month after I moved out after college.
And they didn't go?
No, they did. They went twice without me.
Oh. Oh, you should have gone.
Yeah, well, big girl job. Restricted on time off and stuff. Although my cousin's potentially now ex-husband, I think, he used to be the conductor of the Hogwarts Express in California.
Oh,
that's cool.
Cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Disneyland is getting some really good stuff. So first of all, the first thing that I'm most excited about for Disneyland, they are getting an animatronic of Walt Disney.
Really?
Aren't you? Yes.
Is that? I can't decide if it's creepy or cool. Yeah, I was thinking.
It's very cool.
If they take the frozen head and put it on there or not.
Oh, you're making Kaitlin so sad. Kaitlin is giving her a best pouty toddler face. Crossed arms and all.
Hinges on this door.
I was so excited about this Walt Disney animatronic. Okay. Okay. Jeez. So they're putting it right in the very front of Disneyland. It will be in rotation with Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. So like some days it'll be the Lincoln animatronic, and then they're making the stage rotate like how Carousel of Progress works. And on the other side, it'll be Walt. So, some days it'll be Abe, the others it'll be Walt. And Walt's going to do his whole when they did that TV show, when he was trying to promote Disneyland and he was trying to promote the Florida park, and he's going to talk about like Epcot and all of the fun things like from the 1960s and 50s, and it'll be super nostalgic. And I was super excited about this animatronic, okay? I thought it sounded so cool, and I was like tearing up about it. All right, don't even talk to me anymore. You guys can't be as emotional as me, apparently.
Apparently. No, I am excited for it, and I think it'll be really cool. When there's a Walt's head joke I can make, I've got to make it. No, I think it'll be really cool and it really like a state of the art animatronic. I am always so impressed with the things that they do and the different fluidity of movement with different robots. I mean, you got to be nice to your robots. They're going to be your overlords someday.
Wow.
So not only are the iPads coming to life, but the robots will be our overlords.
Maybe that's how Toy Story 5 is going to end. Bonnie versus animatronic, and then Bonnie is going to embrace her full villain side, and then she's going to destroy it, and then there will be peace on Earth, and we will forgive Bonnie for just losing Woody at a park once. Spoiler.
No, that was Woody's choice.
Ooh.
He decided that he wanted to be with Bo Peep or whatever. I don't know.
But he's back. He's on the bed.
Which is weird. It doesn't make sense storyline, plot line wise, but whatever.
So
I don't
Palpatine's back.
I think Austin and I are going to dress up as Woody and Bo Peep for Princess 5K. That was the only idea that I could pitch to him that he was like somewhat excited about.
I think that'll be cute.
We'll go off theme a little bit. So my dream, because my little sister's name is Jessica, and now as an adult she goes by Jessie or Jess. But so I was like, I asked her before Princess registration, I said, hey, do you want to do another Run Disney race and have her fiance Luke, because he's a huge runner. Luke he does like ultras and like Ironmans. So I was like, here's my idea. My sister could be Jessie, the cowgirl. Luke can be Buzz. Austin can be Woody, and I'll be Bo Peep.
Wow.
I thought this was the greatest group costume idea ever. And she said, no, thanks.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I think busy season also said no thanks, so based on what I know about her schedule.
Your busy season runs for 12 months out of the year. So, like, when do you get to go on a vacation?
True that. But I think that's like traditional busy season where it's where there's April, like busy season,
February,
like light April. Yeah, no, that's
if February. I don't know. I don't know anything about accountants. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't know.
Have we covered all the D23 news? Probably not. I'm sure there's a million and we could go on forever, but are we ready to move on?
We can table it for a while. Because we're going.
I can't really remember anything else that Disneyland was going to get because I was more concerned about the Disney World. But I was bummed that we weren't going to get the Walt animatronic.
Disneyland gets everything.
No, because we're getting a lot of good stuff.
I know. That's a common line, and also a segue into a just different topic that, again, since we all talked last, the Disneyland event guide dropped, which always fantastic to see the event guide come up. Usually makes the event feel a lot more real. At least, you pore over the course maps, which you already have probably looked up on USATF's website to see if they were certified prior to this. But this is just the confirmation that they're real. But everybody just spirals for days. None of us are going, despite the fact that I apparently could still register for the half. But that won't end well if I do that. That's a no-go for me. But just a quick bit about the event guide. It's available on Run Disney's website. If you go under runner info, that'll be a link to the event guide. Course maps look pretty cool. The 5K starts on Main Street, which is incredible, and it finishes up right after Pixar Pier. It actually is somewhat different from the course that was in January of 2024 for the Return to Disneyland races. Start and end are about the same, but we didn't route through Galaxy's Edge this last year, and you will through doing the Halloween half weekend 5K this year. Definitely interesting course. Love to see it. One of the most fun I've ever had was at the Disneyland 5K for that race. 10K, your start is not on Disney property, so it's in their parking lot off of Harbor and Catella. This will make more sense if you're hopefully, participating and know the area a little bit better. The course is pretty much the same as last year. Starts and ends in that parking lot. And it's really awesome because it's almost entirely in the parks besides like the start and finish. But they really make 6 miles out of 2 parks that are across an esplanade from each other. Half marathon, if you did the half in this past January, it seems like the mile 3 water stop has been alleviated. It is now before you even kind of go into that curve going into the area near Grizzly Peak. I forget what the official name of the land is, but kind of near where Soren is. It seems like they moved it to before, so it's like not at the mile 3 mile marker. Another change to the course is that you get to go through Angel Stadium and not just loop the parking lot this time, which is exciting because there was, I think, a monster truck rally in January, so we couldn't run into the park or into the ballpark.
I do remember them talking about that, and I was excited for the Disneyland people. That would be a really cool race to do. You literally get to go on the baseball field,
which is cool. I got some
very
FOMO.
Cool.
A little bit
so is it like a through
go get a
situation?
flight out to California. You could do it.
Is it through the stadium, or is it like loop around the field and come back out?
No, I have you go into the stadium, you go on the actual field.
Mm-hmm. And that's fun. Something fun. It's fun in general. Wow, I've said fun a lot.
Yeah.
But also close to the end. Like you've only got 2-ish more miles then. So
yeah,
you're getting close.
And probably real bathrooms. If I had to imagine. I don't know if they'll let you in them. But maybe, I don't know, someone will have to report back. As an important thing is always checking where the potties are. I know the half marathon course for Disneyland gets a lot of flack because it's 5 miles, like up when you hit mile 5, you're done in the parks and you do not return. So just a warning if for some reason you didn't know this, but do not expect characters off property. Including like the start line, they'll bring out like Mickey and Minnie, for example, like to the very start line, like as like up with Carissa Galloway, like announcing, 3, 2, 1, go. But they're not going to be like near the start line for your pictures. This will be really funny if this is not the case. However, I think that there's enough empirical evidence because this is how it had always been prior to the pause and then after. So, but you're not going to see them at like mile 7 on a corner in front of a McDonald's. You're not going to be finding Goofy. So, get your characters in when you're in the parks, because you won't find them elsewhere. There's a lot of entertainment. There is a lot of entertainment where people from the community really come out, and do cool things, and it's fun. It's more of like your traditional road race, from mile 5 to the end. And yeah, that's it's cool, the entertainment. They won't try to arrest you going to McDonald's if you end up there, because they can't stop you, unlike at Walt Disney World during the marathon. And yeah, it gets a lot of flack. I think it's actually pretty fun. It's pretty fast. It's pretty flat. There's really not a lot of ups and downs, but they're nicely graded in California. On the road race part, I mean, I can't speak to how you're going to run through Angel Stadium. So if somehow there's a big hill, it's just the mound and you're probably not running over the pitching mound. About the expo, we have some longer hours on Thursday, 10 to 8, 12 to 8 on Friday, and then 10 to 4 on Saturday for all your expo needs. It's at the Disneyland Hotel. The map stayed pretty materially similar to last year in January. If you're somebody who's a Walt Disney World regular for Walt Disney World races and you're going into your first Disneyland race, the expo is going to be a lot smaller there. There's a lot less space. Okay, so I warned you. They do the best they can with the space they have, but they don't have 3 giant buildings that like can house a lot of sports to work with. They're working through convention center ballrooms. So pack your patience in a way when you're going in and around the expo. Last year, a complaint that we had, and I can't really promise that it got rectified, is that the expo space where like you get your Run Disney merch, like the Run Disney specific race weekend merch, not very big. In terms of there's not really a whole lot of places for you to like try stuff on. So you like bro out with the people you meet, and it's like, okay, will you watch my stuff real quick in this little corner, and like you like or you know like kind of like, can I use this like little square of space so I can try this shirt on? um so I don't know, I actually made some actually friends, and like it was nice because it was like girl code, and I'm like, does this look stupid on me? Like, does this look good? I'm like, no, that looks so cute. Or like, that like maybe do a different size, but that I don't like, or that like doesn't look great. So just know that it's different. These are different events. We are on different coasts. You know, I hope that some of the things that a lot of people had mentioned from last year have been rectified. I know one of the big ones was about PhotoPass. So PhotoPass, as you know, if you're registered, I'm speaking to the choir. This is not new information, but it was included in the cost of your bib. Because what was weird about it was if you had bought Genie Plus for the day at Disneyland in January, you couldn't get your photos until you entered the park for the day. So some people don't, you know, like say that you are running the challenge, the 10K and half, and you know, like, you know, I want to rest more, so I'm not going to go into the parks on Saturday, the day of the 10K, day before the half. You wouldn't have been able to get your pictures. Well, you wouldn't have bought Genie for the day, so you wouldn't have been able to get your pictures because you know you wouldn't have bought if you're not going to go in the parks, you're not going to buy Genie. So like getting your pictures got weird. So I think that's why they chose to include it as part of your bib fee, or your fee for the bib. It did, you know, raise the prices with it because that was included in the cost of it. But I'm hoping that a lot of things are better with that this year. I know there were some complaints about weirdness with photos, and I had some of the races where I like, you know, because it's kind of a crapshoot too with like if you're stuck behind like 3 people, like, and like that happens for each of the race photographers. This is almost general. That is what it is. Like, you know, like sometimes your finish line, like somebody's having a medical emergency across the middle of the finish line. And, you know, I honestly am glad I didn't get that finish line photo because that would be embarrassing for someone else to like have like their, you know, like somebody medically helping them or helping them like with a medical emergency in my finish line photo. It's fine. Like, you know, so just pack your patience. Just know that none of us exist in a vacuum. So like be cognizant of people around you, but also recognize like there's a lot of people. Enjoy the race. I'm sure we'll kind of mention this again next week, but yeah, I think that. Oh, the last thing I wanted to bring up is kids races. 10:30 to 8:30 a.m. on the 10K day, which I feel like is earlier. I think that they didn't start till 10 a.m. last year or in January, which I think it's probably nice to like kind of just be done for the day a little bit earlier. But maybe I am wrong about that. I don't know. It looked really, really cute. All the little kitties with their little medals and their little teeny tiny t-shirts. Oh my gosh. Was the cutest thing. And there's more information on the event guide of like the times, like the diaper dash, like what time's the diaper dash versus the 1 mile run
They're
for you,
doing a
depending on your
diaper
age group.
dash. Oh my gosh.
Yes. I really
Nice.
need somebody that I know with a kid to like
Ah, dang it. I can't help you
go
with that.
like no, we'll get your nieces and nephews into it, it's fine.
No,
But
she
like
just started walking like a year ago. Dang it.
okay, but like if we have like them at like the I don't know, like we make mommy
Oh,
whatever. I just needed like a non-weird way to like
that
go and like
and
spectate, right? Like and not
no,
be weird
because
about it. And I'm not
my
going to be weird, but
my sister-in-law and brother-in-law are being really weird about it, and they're not letting any of their kids set foot into a Disney park until they're 5 so they can freaking remember it. So
she'll have to graduate to the well, you can. I think I forget what the cutoff is for age there. What it
though
is when you do
weirdly
kid race
enough,
versus.
they gave us permission. Like my brother-in-law was like, "Hey, if you want to practice being parents and you want to take the 8-year-old like for a week, a weekend, whatever," he was like, "Go ahead and have her." And we were like, "We would gladly take you up on that offer, sir." 100% will be taking my 8-year-old niece at some point, but can I get her all the way to Florida? I don't know about that.
It's a whip.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
Okay.
that exhausts all I really wanted to talk about at Disneyland. Again, I'm not participating this time. Have some FOMO. And it'll be kind of fun because it's the kickoff to the season, and it's not going to be the kickoff to the Walt Disney World half of the season, but I'm excited for everybody kind of rejoining and getting back together, and people earning their coast to coast who haven't gotten it yet. So that'll be really, really exciting. And I look forward to pictures of everyone's spooky best. But speaking of Walt Disney World and like races there, let's talk about Springtime Surprise.
Oh, okay. I might not be doing springtime.
Yeah, does everyone have
I don't
plans?
know.
Natalie, have you booked? Natalie has early because she's Club Run Disney, but I don't think you've done it yet.
That's right. Did you book?
So by the time y'all are listening to this, there will be an answer. So right now it's Schrodinger's question, because I haven't made a decision on what I'm doing yet, and I'm standing in a wedding the weekend before, so that's a little tough.
Yikes.
With timing, because it's like, okay, I'd go back to Omaha and like then go down to Florida, or like just
go straight to
like,
Florida.
yeah,
She's
which
done
I
that before.
probably could.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've done that. You did that last year where you did Goofy and then Dumbo.
Yeah,
You went
and I did
straight to
not intend.
California.
That was lit. We could just,
Yeah.
well, the thing is, in this case, I can send I can send some stuff home with my husband.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So I need to think about it a little bit more. Obviously my time is running out. So from the time we are recording, I have about 24 hours to make the decision to use my Club Run Disney early race registration. So by the time you hear this, I will have made a decision. I am leaning no. And it's nothing again. It's just like I'm just trying to be more responsible, because also like it's just all the other commitments and stuff I have. It's like we now have in May, we have like weddings back-to-back weekends that are travel and stuff. So and then we have like, so it's just trying to balance the travel, and it's like, okay, like am I doing this because like I want to do it, or am I doing it because it's like, oh, like it's like, so I don't know. I have to think about it, and like I like the race themes, I definitely do, and I just know that if I'm gonna go down, like I'm not gonna do like the 10K standalone, like I'm gonna do the whole shebang. And I haven't even looked into like, I know that that's around spring break time, so it's again, and then I just know Springtime Surprise, right? I know that it's Florida, so it's hot. There's the weather risk. It's expensive because it is still in that spring break season, even though usually they plan it on weeks that don't overlap that many spring breaks. And it's just the different factors with it. It's going to be very funny if I come next week and I'm like, guess who's in? But guess who's doing it? But I am leaning on the no side a little bit at this point in time.
So I'm gonna bring a fresh dose of reality. And I was just saying how before we pressed record, I was telling them how our air conditioning unit decided to conk out suddenly this week. So, and it didn't look too expensive. It's not that bad. Like we thought it was going to be way more expensive than it actually ended up being, but just to have to go through paying all of that, and then actually the repair guy, he's coming on Tuesday, which is the day of registration. So, I can't even think about paying for a Disney race or a Disney vacation on that same day. I don't know. And then the same thing that Natalie was saying with like the heat and just, I don't know. I'm glad that we got the themes, but I'm not like loving the themes so much. I don't know. I think if the bibs open up later on a random day, or if the 10 miler doesn't sell out months from now, I will revisit this idea and I might sign up for it. But as of today, I'm saying no, I don't think I'm going to do it.
Last time I had that conversation with myself, Goofy happened and Coast to Coast happened.
I would be, yeah. I mean, like if I just suddenly sign up for the challenge or whatever because it's open, like I would do it. It's on my spring break. I don't have to take off school. So, worst case scenario, like I drive down there and do like the 5K and then drive back. I don't know.
Yeah. I was kind of waiting to hear what you guys were going to say because Ben and I were talking about it earlier today. He's
You're
definitely
gonna do
not.
it?
But I was kind
Oh.
of saying that I was waiting to hear what you guys were thinking because he was like, "Are you going to do it? It's like the last one. Like if you do one race from all the weekends, it's kind of a perfect season. It's not really, but it's like the closest I might ever get since I'm already doing the other 3. But then I don't really
Yeah.
like if Ben's not going to go with me and you guys are thinking about not doing it, I don't really want to go by myself, I don't think.
I thought
So,
about how it's sort of kind of a perfect, but not really. Because remember, I was like, oh, I'm going to do just the longest event of every race weekend. Because I'm doing the wine and dine half, I'm doing the full marathon. Now I'm doing all of the princess races, not just the half, the whole full thing. And so I was like, yeah, I'll sign up for the 10 miler. Like, that's not going to be a super hard registration to pick up. People think it's a weird distance and it's in April. Like, I think I might do it, but probably not. I don't know. Maybe give me a few months. I don't know.
See, when you bring up the perfect on the table,
oh no.
But
I
Natalie, wait, hold on. Let's think about this. We know that you're doing Dopey, and we know that you're doing all of the races of Princess. But what
yeah,
are you signed up for Wine and Dine? All of them?
yeah. I have the challenge and Muffin.
Natalie, you're
No.
so close.
Natalie, you have to do it.
Like
You
next
have
year's,
to.
I turn 30
You have
next year.
to.
We all turn 30 next year.
This is
Jump scare. Jump scare.
Oh my god, you're right. Because this is my birthday week. And I get to do the Schmidt 29 TikTok audio.
So if we put that on the so that like, and I'm trying to not let some frankly arbitrary thing dictate
You
that.
have to do it now. You have to do it because you almost sort of technically had a perfect year in 2023. It wasn't a perfect season, but it was a perfect year.
Yeah. And
You
that would
could
kind of
get
be cool to do.
You could get the coveted perfect season at Walt
But
Disney World property because we're
Yeah.
not doing the Disneyland races and we're not doing the virtual races. But like
Yeah.
you could have a perfect season. I really want this for you right now.
I know. And the thing is, like, in Once Upon a Marathon, Amanda, who's amazing, she brought up, she's like, I feel like if you're going for like a Walt Disney World perfect season, like, this is such a good year to do it.
Yes.
The themes, like, we have the most cohesive set of wine and dine themes that we've had in, frankly, since COVID.
And
We
the princess
have
themes are
the
so
varsity.
good.
Yeah, we have Varsity Dopey, which we haven't talked about that yet. We'll get there. We have like
Oh
the
my
we have
gosh,
like
the
the
medals.
Varsity Marathon weekend. Yeah, Varsity Marathon weekend. We have the princess villain themes, and
We have Snow
princesses,
White.
Yeah, that haven't been around in a few years. Plus Jasmine and Mulan who have, but like
Plus Sleeping Beauty.
Love the girlies. So
I'm really
all good.
torn on my half marathon outfit. I'm like, do I do the whole make it pink, make it blue? Or should I go Snow White? I don't know. But
And then we have like the heroes theme, and it's a lot of. I mean, we have.
you could sign up for the challenge, and then that's all
then I'm
3 of
done.
them. Yeah, you could sign up for that like tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah.
You could do it.
I
You
can.
could just-
I'm
You
gonna
get
have to
one
look,
registration, and the
and I'd be
challenge.
done.
Yeah, the challenge is all 3.
Wow, so much
I
peer
know.
pressure.
I know. I will have to look at. Okay, if I do it, then I will haunt each of you. If you don't, or
Okay.
I'm going to.
All right. So
It's a pact.
If I
All
have
right.
a
I'm not gonna make
roommate,
the
I
joke
can be
I want.
talked into it.
here's another dose of reality for you. So I, not including my nannying paychecks, I haven't gotten a paycheck since June 7th. Okay.
Ooh.
So we're struggling hardcore. The school district said you must differentiate and create individual educations for every single child. But when it comes to y'all's paychecks, we're just gonna treat y'all the same. And they literally said you're getting paid on June 7th, and that's all that you're gonna get, and you don't get a paycheck throughout the summer at all. So I haven't gotten a paycheck in months, and my my first paycheck of the school year is my birthday. So we're going to live it up on my birthday. But that's 3 days after registration. So,
True.
and now we need to pay for an air conditioning unit. So I hate being an adult. Yeah. So,
all right.
Hey, how about if
them prices?
there are what are the Yeah, what are the prices of Springtime Surprise? I don't even know.
What a segue. Okay, so we've got the 5K. The 5K is Buff Groot. It is on April 4th, and it costs $114. The 10K is Hercules. We love our man Hercules. Huncules is my preferred title. And that is on April 5th. That is $161. The 10 miler with Elastigirl is on April 6th and is $221. And then the challenge with Baymax and Hero is all of them, and that is $514. There's also
never mind.
There's also yoga on the 3rd of April for $122. Wild that yoga costs more than the 5K. And
but that's what they're doing for Princess as well.
Yeah. It still boggles my mind though. And then there's also the Splash 5K after party at Typhoon Lagoon, which is not included, that you have to pay for, which is on the 6th and is $91.
Surprised that they're doing 2 race-related activities, yoga and Splash. Cute. But I'm also surprised that the 5K for Groot is the same price as the 5K for Princess. Interesting. Yeah, I think it was 114.
Yeah, that's not super abnormal. Usually they set the season price, and they don't change it. I mean, Disneyland is different because they include the photo pass, and then Wine and Dine with the half, it's different because you get the after party. There's the after party ticket as well as a gift card that comes with your registration. So that one will usually be a little more, but it's pretty set for the year. Like once you get it for Wine and Dine. Well, I guess Disneyland doesn't count because they have a different system, but usually it kind of is set for the year. That's not abnormal.
Oof, that $500 price. But that makes sense because you're getting 3 races. So, because I was like, man, the challenge for Princess is only $412, but you're only getting 2 races. So that does make sense. Oof. Okay, how about we table this conversation about Springtime Surprise registration because this is going to come back to bite me. Because I'm like, I have a feeling that it's not going to sell out. I don't know.
I'm going to regret that, but
I'm going to regret saying that in like 2 days. Yeah. I'm going to be this year because my school is starting way earlier. I'm not going to be in first period anymore when registration drops. I'm going to be in third period when registration drops. So, third period is my planning period. I could get on myself. I'm not going to be awkwardly teaching and hyperventilating at the same time.
So many signs from the universe. So many conflicting signs from the universe.
The air conditioning guy is coming that day, okay? But I will be, how about I'll take a gander. I will look at the website. If one of these races is not sold out, I will contemplate getting a race registration after my first paycheck on Friday.
Let's table and let's talk about a race we are all signed up for. Marathon weekend.
Yes.
And let's talk about the
medals. Okay. Because, all right, can I get a little tiny bit sad for like a hot second?
Austin, maybe. Should we say what the medals are to start the conversation?
Because it has to do with marathon weekend, because it was like Monday of last week when the medals dropped, and Austin was like, when are you guys podcasting again? And so I was like, I don't know. So I texted you guys and I was like, hey, does anybody remember that we do a podcast? Do you guys want to do you want to do that, or did you guys did we stop doing that? So, and then Hannah, thank God, texted back right away and she was like, yeah, totally, we're gonna do podcasting later, but here's the medals, we got to talk about them in our next episode. And I was like, so I was extra happy because I was like, yay, we didn't stop doing the podcast and we got more Run Disney news. So
Our life has been in a bit of shambles recently, y'all.
yeah. Oh,
A
mine
bit
too.
being a light term to describe what
Yeah.
the last few weeks of my life.
It was the first week of school. So we're in the thick of it.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Mhm.
medals.
Yes.
Okay.
So excited. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Does the marathon medal, does it rotate? Does it spin? Anything?
I don't think we'll know until Wine and Dine when they have them, or maybe this weekend, or not this weekend, but at Disney, because they'll have the whole season up on display.
At Disneyland.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because right now we just got the pictures, so we can guess, but we don't know. I do think the dopey one does, based on the photo. It has to move somehow. But yeah, so the 5K, we've got a sort of classic badge shape with Pluto. Then we've got the 10K, which is Chippendale, and they are racing through the finish line, breaking the ribbon, and sort of the castle's behind them, and they're holding up the 10K. It's not a medal, but it also kind of looks like one of those pressed pennies, is my best description.
It looks a little three-dimensional. It's really cute.
Yes, for sure. I think they're like on top, like a separate layer. And then the half is Donald and Daisy. They're heroically or celebratorily holding up their medals in like retro sort of like jersey pennies almost, is kind of what their
Meta.
shirts look like to me. Yeah.
They're breaking
And
the
then
fourth wall in this medal. I like it.
and then the marathon is Mickey and Minnie with the what is it, like a globe?
Yeah,
Sort of.
it's like that sort of, the Walt Disney World specific logo.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, imagine
That's
what
what
it
it
is.
reminds me of, where it's like that globe thing that looks like a Mickey head.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess I do see the ears behind their arms now that I look a
Mm-hmm.
little bit closer. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And then
That one I'm most excited about. Like, I think
because
it's the
that's
cutest,
yours.
and it's the only one I'm yeah, that's the only one I'm gonna get. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
really
can't
excited
tell.
about it. I think it's gonna look really cute. But my favorites
Usually
of
something
these,
moves, but I don't know what would. Maybe they
I
will.
really love the half and the full. I think those are great. They're super cute. So like if I was doing Goofy, that would be awesome. Because the Goofy one's really cute too. I like the color scheme, like the orange and the green. I think that's really adorable. And then the Dopey one is also very cute with like the light green and the purple, like very dopey colors. Even the
So
5K is cute too with the
yeah.
turquoise.
In the Goofy medal, it's an anniversary. Yeah, it's the 20-year anniversary, so that's on the medal. And Goofy's holding all 3 medals that you win for doing that challenge. And then I actually think the Dopey one, it like sort of like turns down. There's like the Dopey challenge with Dopey on it, and then it shows finisher behind it. There is some controversy going on with that medal about the colors, because in the photos it looks more like yellow and purple rather
Right.
than
It
green.
could be a filter. Could be a filter on the photo. You don't know. I think it looks cute.
We'll find out in 9 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a hot take in that Goofy supremacy. I think the Goofy medal is my favorite of the bunch, and this is the second year in a row. Well, it's between again, as I've told this story before, how I made my decision like last year when I decided to do the marathon and wasn't supposed to originally, is I registered after the medals came out because I had a random opening, and my favorite were Goofy, the half, and the full. And I think that this is for the second year in a row. Those are my favorites. I really,
Those
and it's
ones are
not that
really
I don't
cute.
like, it's not that I don't like the other ones. It's because I like Dopey. I think that'll be cute. Or I think it's cute. I think Pluto's so cute, and I love Chip and Dale. But like of the set, those are my favorites. And
Is the
that's the
Chip
second
and
year in a
Dale
row. 10K.
is the Chip and Dale one pink? Or is that like a filter?
Um,
It's looking a little pink and orange to me.
yeah, but I think that the like bleachers that are behind the photo also look kind of pinky, and I wonder if it's red and it's a filter because the Run
It
Disney
could
pennant
be.
flag is also, I think, supposed to be red.
Okay. I'm not really a pink girly. I was always the purple sister, and my sister was always the pink sister in
Mm.
that theory that goes with sisters. So I'm not really a pink girly myself. But if pink and orange is your thing, or if this is actually red and orange, then that's cool. I do love the monks, Chippendale, but I'm
I
okay with
think
not
it's
having the
red.
10K. Yeah,
I
but
think it's red. I think it's
okay,
just like a
but
like varsity, like red.
the
Mhm.
next one though, when you look at the half, like Donald's tank top and Daisy's bow are clearly red.
Yeah, but I
That
think
looks
it's a
red to
different
me.
I think it's, a different angle. They're up against other backgrounds. I think it's just like the
Maybe.
contrast and like the way
Maybe
they
the
set up the
sun was
photo.
shining. I think they had the sun directly shining on the 10K medal, and maybe it just washed
Mhm.
it out a little bit and it made it look pink. And then this is in the shade, in a shadow, and it just looks a little bit darker and it looks more red. I don't
Mhm.
know. I like how Donald and Daisy are, and Goofy are breaking the fourth wall. Yeah, because they are on a medal holding medals.
Love. I
Yes.
love that touch.
Yes. Mickey and Minnie are not holding medals on
Losers.
the marathon one. I know. So
Sorry.
that one is not
Sorry,
as
Mickey.
meta. They're not breaking the fourth wall in the marathon medal, but I still think it's a cute looking medal. I like it. It's really sparkly. It's cute. And it's got that Mickey like globe thing. I
Mhm.
kind of almost feel like it's got to be some sort of spinner or something. I
It
feel like Mickey and
Maybe
Minnie
they
probably
run.
move.
Yeah,
That's what
maybe
I'm
they like
thinking.
slide up and
I think
down.
the twists, or slides up and down. That's why I was like, that one to me looks like it has some sort of a fidget incorporated into this, and it moves. It has to.
I'm
Because
just
look, Mickey is standing right in front of that pennant.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, okay. Natalie's got a medal out.
I never noticed so I'm holding the Goofy Challenge 2024 medal because I thought I had the marathon medal from 2024 up here, but it's downstairs in my medal box because I was going to show how those they kind of like almost like scoot back and forth to
Mhm.
for lack of a better term,
It's like
but
the
I had never
aliens from the
noticed.
10-miler.
Yes. I had never noticed that Goofy he's wearing 3 medals. Or maybe I had noticed it, but now that's they have had that last year too, and I don't think they did that for the Dopey medal. I didn't get
Wearing
the
medals
Dopey
on a
medal.
medal. Love it.
Goofy supremacy. She says running the Dopey
Yes.
challenge this year. Goofy
I'm
supremacy.
I'm just
Yes.
really excited to that the year that I'm choosing to do this insanity that I like all of the medals and I think they go together so well. And I haven't been training as much as I should, but this is like getting me really excited and helping me like
Right. Like
reignite.
I shouldn't say that I don't like any of the medals because I do like all of them. I think they're really cute. However, I feel like the marathon one looks really, really great. I like that one. I mean, obviously I looked at that one the closest, but I was like, I love it. That one's super cute. But I also was like, oh, that half marathon one's really good looking. I like it. The Goofy one is very cute. Dopey looks good. The 5K Pluto, he's so cute. So I love them. I like them all. I'm not running them all, only running one, but one is as good as a feast.
Oh man, this is back to the springtime conversation though. Like, cause now I'm thinking of them in like, I'm thinking of them as like a unit. And like I like all the wine and dine medals. I like the marathon medals. I really like the Halloween half. Not that I'm doing that, and that's not enough to pull me out there, even though that thing is still open. Anyway,
Personally, I'm not a fall girly. I'm not a Halloween girly. Like, if I had to choose, I am a Christmas girly. So I know Hannah's like, you can no longer be part of this podcast. But I am getting into being a fall girly in the past few years. And like last year, when Austin and I went to Universal and we spent the whole day at Harry Potter World in Universal. We got so excited about Harry Potter, and like we immediately came home and just like binge watched all 8 movies. And like obviously we've both loved Harry Potter for forever. And then we very Shark Tank style went up to our parents and we were like, it was September of 2023, and we were like, we want to have our wedding be Harry Potter themed wedding. And this was like literally a month out, and our parents went, absolutely not. Like, no, you get a horse themed wedding and that's final. So, but yeah, ever since like last year, I'm like, okay, I see the hype of the fall girlies. I like it. I got him a boo basket. This year, I would appreciate a boo basket myself, but you can only send
another
so many.
call out. Are you listening?
I can only send so many Instagram reels as hints, but it's going to be fun. I'll give him another boo basket this year, and we'll see if he reciprocates.
True. Yeah. Oh yeah, and something I looked up with the supporting the theory that Chip and Dale are not pink. The theme of the weekend, I just looked up the themes again, and it's a maroon, that they sit on a maroon backdrop. That doesn't mean the shirt's going to be that color, because we had this beautiful pink for the half marathon this year, and then it was a blue shirt. But I want to say it supports the idea of a maroon.
Let me turn my brightness up because I'm an old lady and everybody makes fun of me because my brightness is always turned way down. Let me see. Where's the themes for marathon weekend?
A nostalgic celebration. But yeah, so yeah, no, back like I just thinking about oh shoot, I should anyway, but just thinking about the whole like what the metal suite looks like, right? And I'm trying to not think about it like this, okay? Like, but I'm going to for a minute, because yeah, of like how they all look together. Like, I know the princess ones are gonna be beautiful. Like imagine like the perfect season, like whole like lineup. Like,
okay, but bean counter.
You're making me regret the fact that I only chose the half for wine and dine and not the challenge.
No, I only chose the half for wine and dine. It's okay. I'm doing the standalone half, so you and I can do that together. But okay, bean counter, do you have the finances to go and do another weekend?
yeah.
And you also have to be in a wedding. And you are also going to go attend 2 other weddings.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, you're right. These are all things to think about. Yeah, these are all things to think about. Just no one's allowed to get engaged now. I'm kidding. No, I love you all, and I love attending your weddings. I love celebrating your love. It's wonderful. All good things. Yeah, no, I just like, yes, did I like black out and book like a backup pop reservation? Yeah, I did. Because I can always get my money back if I decide not to do it. Yo, girlies who do it. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. So you actually booked a hotel?
Yes, of course she did. She probably did it ages ago.
No. Like, I just did it. Because I figured that like that's gonna be an inhibitor to this whole process too. If I like get on after everybody registers, it's like, oh shoot, it's only the grand flow for like your entirety of your bank account and your firstborn child that you don't have yet, like available to you.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Okay, well, we'll leave everyone in suspense then. So if you're listening, you don't know if we're racing or not either. But
if anybody wants to know what I want for my 29th birthday, I would love a race registration for Springtime Suprise. It would be cheaper than an air conditioning unit.
You can email us to get in contact about such a donation.
Misty's gonna be like, I got you.
That's actually why we restarted the pod, everyone.
I know. Austin's like,
it was a 2-week break. Okay, it was a 2-week
Austin's
break.
like,
It was
how
a
much?
hiatus.
How much money are you guys making on this podcast so far? $0.
In fact, we're
$0.
technically losing money because I pay for our recording subscription. Okay, let's get into reviews. So yeah, every week we ask you guys to, if you liked the pod, to give us 5 stars and leave us a review. And we went on hiatus, but 3 people still wrote us reviews. So I am astounded. They are all 5-star reviews. Our first one, titled "Love This!" from Tiff with a blue heart. She says, "Love hearing your perspectives on the Run Disney and the parks." Thank you, Tiff. We love that you're listening. And then we've got a username that I don't think is meant to be pronounced, ANL0408, titled "Engaged." 5 stars. I listened to several Disney and Run Disney podcasts. This one is enjoyable and great for all running skill levels. We appreciate that. Yep. Natalie is by far the fastest of all of us. And Kaitlin and I are currently competing for who can be the least consistent in our training.
That is true. Yes, it really is. That was my motivation to go out running 2 times this week. I was like, I can't be the slacker on the pod. So,
are you ready for a jump scare?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so by the time we record next week, we will have completed week 9, okay? It's 45, 3 miles. Okay, so
for y'all,
from
not me.
Is yours different? Oh, yours is 30s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but your conditioning runs during the week.
Mm-hmm.
We won't see for our long run anything below double digits until we'll have our cutback weeks, but this will be 1/3 done with the number of training weeks of just pure training weeks in the program.
Wow.
1/3. Ooh. Because there's 27 weeks of just training. The 28th week is the race. The 29th week is the cool down, recovery week.
Oh, good.
But we're 1/3 of the way there in terms of weeks.
I was just thinking that the other day when I was looking through the whole printed out. Yeah, I was like, man, are we at the halfway point yet? Because I'm dumb and I'm not a math teacher. I'm an English teacher.
We all have our strengths. Also, we're not anywhere near. We're maybe 20% done with the mileage, though.
The strengths that I bring... The strengths that I bring to the table is, number 1, I can tell you about the historical relevance of Mark Twain. And number 2, I can analyze the medals and tell you that they're breaking the fourth wall.
And that we had disappointing reactions to the Walt animatronic, and his head is not in a frozen. It's on a rotisserie, and it's generating power for the park.
Oh my goodness!
If he's spinning in his grave, it's just that's the rotisserie going faster.
Okay. And our final 5-star review comes from... Okay, and our final 5-star review, Kaitlin, shush, is from TD 2013-4567. Loving these usernames, guys. Titled "Fun Run Disney Podcast." This podcast is a really fun and informative way to hear about all things Run Disney and Disney parks. It's so fun with the tips and tricks to make your next Run Disney race magical and fun. Thanks. We appreciate that. Also sounds kind of similar to our trailer. So either you really liked our trailer or our message is getting across.
Love it. Either way, we appreciate it for sure.
We really appreciate everyone who listens. It is we obviously have fun sitting and recording and talking to each other, but it will never stop. Obviously, it's like only been a few weeks, but I don't think it'll ever stop being so cool. We look at the stats like daily and talk about, oh, we have new listeners in this state. Oh, we have new listeners in this country. We have this many downloads. And it's just like astounding that anyone wants to hear us talk.
Yes.
My father-in-law asked me, "How's the
Oh.
podcast going this weekend?" I'm like,
Oh,
like,
so nice.
That's much
Shout
nicer than
out.
my family, who just like ripped me a new one all vacation
Oh!
about the fact that I'm obsessed with Disney and what happened to me.
What? You know what? There are so many negative things in the world right now. If we want to be happy about an amusement park, then let us be, okay? It's like
Oh, they're happy. They're
we.
happy. It's just like the playful banter of family of like, they just think it's kind of funny.
All right, well, I think that's an episode. Until our next adventure, we're wishing you endless miles of magic and memories. See you next time.